Good morning. This is the BLAINESWORLD webcast that can be found each week on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. You can also listen in on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You get more information and listen to previous shows on our website, which is behind me, www.blainesworld.net. I'm your host, Blaine Greenfield, and I'm here in my Zoom studio in lovely downtown Fairview, North Carolina. Each week we focus on some of the cool things that are happening in Western North Carolina and throughout the country. And toward that end, it's my pleasure to introduce two of my friends who are very talented performers each. And they are Karen Covington-Yow and Dave Bates. And Karen, you knew what I was going to say. She already waved. Dave, you can wave to all your fans and friends who are watching this. And Karen and I were both saying we love that background, David. That's very is that a new background?
I put that background up for a Zoom meeting that I was doing back in April. And it took me, oh gosh, 3 or 4 hours to figure out how to do it. And this is the first time I've done anything on Zoom since. It frankly surprised me that it's still there.
Well,
It's there.
it came
Yeah.
out very well and good job.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Karen, you have your background. Hopefully, we'll get to see one of your cats again. Or how many cats do
There's
you have?
one that just went under my feet, actually.
Okay, how many cats do you have?
Two.
Two. Yeah, we have one, but Cynthia's talking about a second one, so we shall see. Anyway, guys, we're like starting out, even though I've met you both previously on the air, it's just gonna kind of give a brief Reader's Digest version of your background. Dave, we'll start off with you. That'll go for, you think you can keep it under 10 minutes?
Oh, easily.
Okay. And Dave, so how did you get into doing what you're doing?
Well, I am a pianist. I started taking piano lessons when I was in second grade. At the time, never really thought that it was going to become my profession, but it has become my profession. I'm a music director at a local church, and whenever the opportunity arises, I play piano for other things, such as theater performances. Um, and occasionally people invite me into their homes to do little concerts and things like that. Um, Karen and I met about this time last year. She was the lead in a play called At the Cafe, which was being done at Tina McGuire Theater in the Diana Wortham Complex, written by a local playwright. And I was invited to play piano for that. And I guess Karen thought that I was good enough for that I'd be good enough for her one-woman show.
Now, Dave, have you ever done any one woman, one man shows before?
Um, well, no, I haven't.
So you were saying, so when did you decide you want to do this professionally? So you took it as a kid. What was your first professional gig?
I the decision kind of got made for me that well, okay, my real interest is in songwriting and playwriting. And I was had been a college math teacher. And at some point I decided I don't want to get to age 70 and think, gee, I wish I'd tried harder. And so I walked away from a perfectly good job, telling myself that I'll give it 5 years. And if I haven't had any success by then I'll go back to teaching math. And within those 5 years, I had two plays produced. And I thought, okay, that's sufficient to justify it. Now, I wasn't making any money as a songwriter and playwright, so I that was when I started making money as a pianist.
And so you mentioned too, you're at a local church. What church is that?
It's Oak Hill Methodist Church over in Candler.
Okay, so that certainly keeps you busy. And Karen, the same kind of thing. Your background, when did you start singing? Or as a kid, I guess you
Probably
started
when I
singing.
got out of the womb is when I started singing.
Uh,
I've definitely been singing my whole life. I started doing theater, I'd say probably around middle school or so. Um, and then in high school, I did it as well. I didn't do any in college. And then in law school, I went to law school at Georgetown Law, and they have a theater group there called the Georgetown Gilbert and Sullivan Society.
hmm.
They call it the theater with its own law school, you know. And I sort of revived my love of it there. I did become a lawyer. I did practice law like Dave. I had a different career, and then I decided, you know what? Do I want to keep doing this the rest of my life? Or do I want to do what I really love to do, which is to sing and perform? And so I quit the law and never looked back, and have been doing theater and singing since that time.
Do you remember your first gig?
My first gig,
Yeah, we got paid to perform.
professional gig where I got paid, was probably a theater group in Atlanta called Atlanta Theater to Go. We performed for retired folks in retirement homes all around the Atlanta area. And that is actually how I met my husband, Mike Yow, who a lot of theater folks here know as well.
And so, really cool thing about you and Mike is that you actually performed with him too at times. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, yeah, we met performing together, and we perform apart probably more than we do together. But yes, sometimes we get to perform together.
And let me ask you too, in terms of getting ready for a show, do you read lines with each other?
No.
Yeah, and thank you because you're one of the few people, Dave, that actually tells me that you never read lines with each other.
No, we have a completely different process. We have we have never read lines together. It's funny, but he will like go walk around the woods with his script and can somehow just infuse lines into his head. I have to record mine and like listen to it in the car and like talk back to it and do that over and over. I hate learning lines. He learns lines much easier than I do. I learn songs easier than he learns songs.
So even when you're in the same show together and you've been in same show
Correct.
a bunch of times, right? You still do this separately? Now, Dave,
correct.
I have to ask you, and this is very exciting about this upcoming show you'll be in, that this is now the first time you were telling me off the air that you actually had lines also?
Almost the first time. Yes.
Okay. So is that exciting for you?
No. I am very comfortable hiding behind the piano. If there's an orchestra pit where no one even sees me, that's great. For this
will
show,
not be hiding it.
I am very much on stage. I will be visible to everyone, so I have to behave.
Okay.
Yes, I like making music. I'm less comfortable about being seen in the process.
And Dave, how about in terms of music? Do you prefer writing or performing it?
It depends how creative I'm being at the moment, but generally speaking, I enjoy writing it more.
Now, it amazed me. I know I've interviewed you on at least one other time, but you've written how many shows alone?
I have written 7 full-length musicals, 5 of which have been produced one place or another.
Okay, very exciting. And so let's talk. I'm sorry.
I was going to say most of them have between 15 and 20 songs. And then there's a whole bunch of other songs that got written that don't appear in any shows. And some of them I put together into a musical review, 7 Singers Singing, which we've done here in Nashville a couple times.
How many songs, any idea how many songs you've written overall?
I'm guessing somewhere around 200.
Yeah. And let me ask you too, I always wondered, so after you write a song, do you ever revisit it or does it ever change 10 years after?
Yeah. Yes. Especially the lyrics.
Okay, but that's quite something. And hopefully we'll see that again because I've seen your not one-man shows, but when you've had these reviews, I've seen them at least twice and they're quite something. Karen, have you ever seen the reviews too, or were you ever in any of them?
I have not seen them, nor have I been in any of them.
Okay.
I did not know Karen back then. Had I known her, I would have drafted her.
Well,
we didn't know each other till last year when we did at the cafe. So
well, excepting Dave, I think next time though, now Karen, it'll have to be 8 singers, or we have to, you get a role for.
You'd be surprised how hard it is to come up with singers who are willing and available.
Yeah. And then to find
Because
you and I have talked to find the time for them to rehearse and to meet. That was
Right.
a challenge.
yeah, but
But
the good people get booked up to do shows months in advance.
so it's easier to just work with Karen then, just one person at a time. You can
Oh my,
handle that.
yes,
That's easy. Yeah.
yes.
And Karen, let's talk about then this upcoming show you're going to be doing at, what is it, Black Mountain Center for the Performing Arts? Is that it?
Black Mountain Center for the Arts.
For
Yeah.
the arts. And quite a neat place. So for the benefit of the folks who don't, first of all, know about it and where is it, talk about the center and then we'll talk about the show you're going to be doing.
It's in downtown Black Mountain, and it's not just performing arts, it's fine arts as well. There's an art gallery there, and they always have different art displays going on. So it's revolving. So it's different every time you go in there.
It's such a cool place to go to because not only do they do the different things, but Black Mountain is just a great place to eat and bop around. It's just a great environment.
It's all walkable. Yeah, nice small little town there.
And it seems that you and Mike have almost found that as a second home. You know, it seems to be.
We have ended up, you have to submit shows to do there because they don't produce your shows. They're just the venue. And so every year you submit shows and they pick, a certain number of shows for the season. And fortunately, the past several years, we've been able to do shows there. So it's been really nice.
This show, you mentioned to me off the air, opening on September 20th. What show is that, Karen?
It is called Sister Robert Ann's Cabaret Class. That's a very long name. For anybody who's familiar with the nonsense shows, this is the Sister Robert Ann from the nonsense shows. Something I did not know until I actually looked, and I think Dave counted them. There were 8 other nonsense shows before this show. And Sister Robert Ann is a wisecracking nun from Brooklyn, from the streets of Brooklyn. And she is always the understudy in these nonsense shows, and she'll break in at various times to insert herself into the shows. And the kind author, Dan Goggin, decided, well, he'd just give Sister Robert Ann her own show, since she has had to be the, quote, understudy for all of these other shows that the nuns have put on. So this is her own show, and she is teaching the audience how to do cabaret by using various songs from previous nonsense shows.
Now, you've actually been in some of the nonsense shows, haven't you?
I have. This will be my 6th time as Sister Robert Ann in various forms. I've done nonsense, the original nonsense, a number of times, 4 times, I guess. Yes. And then I did Sister Amnesia's Nonsense Jamboree, which is the country and western one, and I did Nuncrackers, which is the Christmas one.
Because as
so I have played this role many times, and I also played Sister Amnesia the very first time I did nonsense.
Because as you're talking, Karen, I can just hear in my mind your Brooklyn accent. Your Brooklyn accent,
which I really don't have in real life because I'm a Texan.
I know,
but I throw on that Brooklyn accent for some reason very easily. I don't know why, but it's
better than my New York accent. So
it's better than you. Well, yeah, you have heard me play Robert,
right? Several times
down in Hendersonville. So an actual New Yorker has given me the thumbs up on my Brooklyn accent.
Rightly so. Now, Dave, talk a little bit about the music then. So had you been familiar with the nonsense musical at all before, Dave?
Not really. Way back, I want to say it was in the mid 80s, I saw the original nonsense show in a community theater. I vaguely remember some aspects of it, but certainly did not remember any of the music. And so when we started getting together to rehearse, it was obvious Karen knew all these songs already, and I did not. So I've been playing catch up the whole time.
Now, how would you describe the music then, Dave? What kind of music is it?
Well, I guess we call it show music. A lot of it. There's several songs that have kind of a country and western feel, I think. Oh, well, okay, here's what I should say. A lot of the songs have a definite feel to them that Sister Robert Ann is exploring different types of music that you can put in your cabaret act. There's an Elvis song that has that 50s doo-wop feel to it. There's a song about Patsy Cline and another song about country music. So it really plays with different genres of music.
Now, these songs, oh, Karen, I think you indicated these have all been in other nonsense shows before.
Yes, all of them have been in nonsense shows, other than an original song that you will hear Father Dave play during the show. He's going to throw in one of his own songs as well.
Yes, there's a moment where the pianist, father whatever,
Father
in
Dave,
this case, is she's saying, now in your cabaret act, you may need to rest for a moment, and that's a good time to tell the musicians they get to shine. And so, so she takes a rest, and I play a little song, and there's music provided in the score, and I thought, I really don't like this music. So I said, can I play something else? And yeah, sure. Who's going to know?
No, they actually, the author, Dan Goggin, is a very nice man and wants people to make shows their own. Yeah. He let me swap out a song from one of the different song from Nonsense in the show. He really wants the person playing Sister Robert Ann to kind of be able to craft this and make this their own. So
no, it's really cool. So you've actually spoken to the author?
Yeah.
Has he ever seen you perform this?
He has not seen me perform, no.
Okay, it's too bad. Where is he out of?
New York, I think. Yeah. So, but he, so many people perform all these nonsense shows, and he's always very gracious. He gives out his email address and his phone number, in the materials. He is very gracious to talk to anyone and help you craft the show in the best way. So.
We should invite him to this one or something. Wouldn't that be cool if we could get him here?
Yeah, he knows when it is. So
now, something you said too, that it's a sing-along. So on this one, is the audience going to get to sing with you?
There are 2 songs in which I involve the audience, so they better get ready.
Okay, well, no, we should. They're watching the show.
Not only that, but in one of the songs, she invites some of the audience members up on stage to be her backup.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah, this is all, the entire show involves the audience. They are my class. I will go down and talk to them. I will bring people up on stage, so that it's very participatory. That's why Father Dave gets to participate too, because he's there teaching the class with me and helping me out. So it's very, everybody can get involved. It's not just to sit back and watch the show kind of show.
Well, I don't see though in the background a ruler though in terms of
you bet
the audience. There'll be a ruler though, or if they don't do what you tell them, that they're going to get smacked.
I will have rules, and if people break them, they will find out what happens if they break them. So,
but I mean, are you going to actually bring a ruler though with you?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
What nun doesn't have a rule?
I was going to say something to look forward to. Now, Karen, how many songs are in this show?
Oh, gosh, I don't know.
Dave?
About a dozen, maybe a few more. Within the piano
I was going to
score,
say 15 or something.
Okay. There are a lot of what we'll call incidental music where I play 4 measures of something and then she cuts me off. So those get numbered. So if you look in the score, it goes up to like 25 or something like that. But not all of them are songs.
Right. And knowing Karen, that's probably a breeze for you because Dave, I don't know if you ever saw the one woman show Karen did before.
I did.
Oh, you did?
I saw
that had a lot more songs than this.
But Dave, that was the most amazing performance I've ever seen her do. How many songs were in that, Karen?
22 6, I think,
Yeah,
something like that.
just,
I don't,
just,
it was a lot.
yeah, just nailed it though. But that was a great performance. And so, talk, Dave, if you would, then, in terms of putting this together. So, Karen, you met Karen about a year ago. Did she come to you with the idea, or how did it evolve to where it is now?
Yeah, I got an email. She had already submitted this and got the approval from the Black Mountain Art Center.
Mhm.
So I got an email saying, I'm looking for a pianist. And I said, sure.
Okay. So,
Um,
now, how long has the process been? So, the show's coming up in late September. How long have
Mhm.
you been working on this between the two of you?
July, I think at the beginning of July or so is when we got the music, right? End of June,
um,
something like that.
well, Karen was doing a show up at Mars Hill at
Yeah.
SART. And she was busy with that, but we got the music. And so I got the music and started familiarizing myself while she was not involved with these rehearsals.
Okay.
Yeah, it's when I was in Fiddler at Start, and that was in like late June, I think is when I got it, like the last week in June. I didn't start looking at it until July, and
Yeah.
we've met once a week
Yeah.
since mid-July.
So,
But except we didn't meet last week because I was out of town
and so when you meet, are you meeting virtually or are you meeting in person?
We're
in
meeting
person.
in person. You cannot rehearse a song virtually.
Yeah.
Not over Zoom because the
That
time
simply does not work
Oh, is that
because
it? Yes.
there's a half a second time lag and it
Yep.
just throws the timing completely off and it falls apart. I've tried it.
I
It
go
doesn't
over to
work.
Dave's and he has his piano there, and that's how we do it.
And the other thing we should mention, Karen, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but Dave also, in his spare time, you forgot to mention, Dave, you also have these sing-alongs, right? You get together. Do you still do those?
Yes, I got one tonight.
Okay.
I
And
Mhm.
what
remember hearing about those last year when we were doing
Yeah.
at the cafe.
and talk about that because again, I'll try to put the show up even in terms of for tonight. But what exactly are those sing-alongs?
Well, we do it at the Unitarian Universalist Church in Nashville on corner of Charlotte and Edwin. I used to be involved with the music at that church, and I was the accompanist for the choir. The choir there, at least back then, never met over the summer. They took the summer off for whatever reason. We would have guest musicians. There were some choir people said, "Well, I kind of like to keep singing over the summer." And I said, "Fine, let's just meet informally and we'll gather around the piano and sing show tunes and pop songs and whatever else we know."
Mhm.
And that's how it started. And of course, it was open to any other church member and then other people who had no connection to the church. And it's been going for close to 25 years now. We meet
Wow.
twice a month.
Nice.
And yeah, it's still the same format. We gather around the piano. We have lyric books. I learned long ago, if you want people to sing, you've got to put the words in front of them. Because even, people say, "Oh yeah, I know that song," and they get to the second line, is da 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 da. Yeah, they don't know the words or can't come up with them on some.
So,
And
oh,
we've
sorry.
we've been doing that, and it's been a great deal of fun.
No, so you do these you do twice a month. You do these
Twice a month,
at
the
where?
first and third Tuesdays at the Unitarian Universalist Church, corner of Charlotte and Edwin, from 7 to 9 in the evening. And I always explain we have a very casual drop in, drop out policy. Some people don't come until 7:30. Some people leave at 8 o'clock, and we just keep on singing. I emphasize we are not a performing group. We're not rehearsing. There's no performance at the end of the line. We are just singing for the fun of singing.
So if somebody even can't sing, they're invited to join.
If someone can't sing, we are the perfect place for them to come because we have no standards whatsoever. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, if they love to sing and the choral society has said no, you can't carry a tune, Yeah, we are the place you're looking for.
And the beautiful thing about this, Dave, you don't charge for this at all, or do you?
No, it's free and open to the public. Yeah.
But Karen, it's just an incredible thing. I didn't go to that thing, but I went to something else Dave once did, a sing along. It's just a lot of fun, that you get people involved. But I'm so excited about this show that people have a chance to sing with you also.
That's right.
Okay. And they better sing right or they're in trouble.
Yes. Don't say they have a chance. They have an obligation.
Also, yes, they have an obligation, or also I'll have to drag Brother Mike up there from the back.
Uh-huh.
He'll be running my check.
That's where
He'll
she'll
have
get
to
her
come up and
ruler
make a
out.
fool out of himself if I come up. So.
But Michael be involved also?
As he'll be doing my tech just as I do his, when he does his shows there. So.
Okay. And so, Karen, again, the specifics of the show itself, it opens when and times and dates again, if you would, please.
It's September 20th through the 29th at the Black Mountain Center for the Arts. It's 7 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays and 2 p.m. on Sundays.
Okay. And the thing is, if they want to get tickets, what's the website again, Karen?
It is blackmountainart.org.
Okay. And people on this one, everybody says, Dave, you should get tickets in advance, but this one you really should, because the theater itself only seats how many?
At 80.
80. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. And great to go into Black Mountain again, grab dinner beforehand or even afterwards. Just a real fun place to go to.
So many restaurants in Black Mountain.
Yeah,
okay, for sure. And let me ask both of you then. So after this show ends its run on the 29th, do you have any upcoming plans? So Karen, I know you've just been a little bit busy the past couple months. You've done how many shows?
I did. I've done 5 this year, so I'm going to be done after this show for the year, which is weird but awesome at the same time, because I did way too many in a row last year and never stopped, and I'm not going to do that to myself this year. So after 5 shows this year, that will be it. And Mike still has a few, so I'll go enjoy his and get to relax.
And I've asked you this question, but other than the 5 shows you did and hopefully doing some cool stuff next year, do you have a dream role you've always wanted to do or haven't done yet?
Dream role, I want to do Mama Rose in Gypsy. I would like to do Beverly Bass in Come From Away whenever that gets released to local theaters, because that is like my favorite show ever. I think I'd also like to do Donna in Mamma Mia. I think that would be
Boy, I could see her in all those. And Dave, I'll ask you the same question. 2 things actually. So if folks want to keep in track of Dave Bates, what's the best way to find out what you're up to?
I don't know if there's a good way to find out what I'm up to. I do not have a media presence. I'm not on Facebook and so on. I do, however, have some of my music on YouTube. Can I tell you about that? If you want to find some of my music on YouTube, YouTube does not make it easy to find me, because there are other people in the world named Dave Bates who have things on YouTube. So what you have to do is search for Dave Bates Music, and it should bring up a blue spirograph logo. And the way I explain it to people is, if you just put in Dave Bates Music, it's like walking past the store and looking in the window. Click on the blue spirograph. It's like going inside the store and browsing.
Okay, but certainly worth checking into, because you'll be amazed by Dave's stuff. It's just incredible stuff. Is there if people want to reach you like Karen did, can you share an email address as well then?
I have an email address like everyone in the world, davebates95@yahoo.com.
Okay. I'm glad you have, I always like that, Karen, the 95, because that distinguishes him from Dave Bates 94 and Dave Bates 96.
All of the 94 other Dave Bates.
Right.
You never know how many Dave Bates there could be.
Exactly. And Karen, same question. If folks want to track you down or see what you're up to, what's the best bet?
I'm on Facebook. There's a real me and there's a fake me, as we all have on Facebook. I had a previous Facebook that was hacked. But we're both called Karen Covington-Yow. If you see the one with the mini ears, she's wearing mini. That's the one that got hacked and is no longer me. So I don't post that as my picture anymore, just so people will know it's not me. I'm also on Instagram
And join
as
the
well.
crowd. I got hacked. I think a lot of us did too.
Yes.
So I'm glad you're back on. Anyway, guys, thanks an awful lot. Really looking forward to the show. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm glad you gave me and everybody else, Dave and Karen, the heads up, because we're just going to have to be prepared to maybe get involved in this one. So it should be a lot of fun.
Right.
So anyway, thanks, guys. I'll speak to you soon.
All right. Thank you.